increase. If in the future our cost will go up, it will be driven by the trend in food costs and not this initiative. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
Renee, Jesus. The show's starting.
Regarded by many as one of the fastest rising online personalities today, social media rock star Ryan Wasserman has 250,000 loyal Twitter followers and earns $28,000 a year at his job as an administrative assistant. The Onion spoke to the online luminary at KPL Insurance, where he works from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and makes roughly $13 an hour.
I'm just trying to bring my unique perspective to everybody. That's what my followers expect.
Look at Renee repeatedly fix her ponytail.
$900 in his checking account, regularly engages in conversations with high-profile celebrities, and takes the bus to work from the 2-bedroom apartment he shares with the 23-year-old he met on Craigslist.
Actually, I just started a Tumblr because sometimes 140 characters just doesn't cut it. I just had a Google Glass tweet that Questlove retweeted again. KPL, this is Ryan. Yeah, I'm sorry, I totally forgot.
This is the Onion News Network.
Welcome to the Seditious Sirens.
Well, Renee will one day get her shit together. One day. Maybe not today. She's just having a little headphone difficulty over there, people.
Yeah.
This show is entitled The Evolution of Sex. So, we thought we'd get into some of that kind of raunchy stuff. Well, maybe not raunchy. Maybe, depending on how you look at sex, we'll see. I think we want to talk about this because we live in a generation where people are having the best sex of their lives. And if they're not, well, I don't know what's stopping them. There's no market that's gone untapped. And I mean that literally. But to see how far we've come, we have to start from the beginning and weigh our experiences, compare and contrast, or judge us, deny you can't. Sex is why we are all here, which is pretty awesome, I think. I think that's an awesome way to look at it. Look at it as art. Your dad was the paintbrush, your mom was the canvas, and they made you.
Gross. God, no, really though, my dad and my mom having sex would fucking end up as me. It's a goddamn disaster. Fuck.
Well, that leads into the great first topic of sex ed. Like, how did you when did you go from I think babies come out of bellies to, okay, that is the deed? Because I see all these movies where people are like, oh, they sit them down and they have like this talk. And I was like, that never happened for me. That was like something I had to figure out on my own. Do you recall like going like the first time you understood like fully this is penis and vagina?
Yep. So I forget what started it, but okay. So I was in school, breeding grounds for bad words and whatnot, and the latest discoveries of 4th grade or whatever. I think I was in like 3rd or 4th grade, and someone said something about like, where do babies come from? Now, this had been a long asked but never answered questions. Theories came saying that some babies were born in a cabbage patch. Others said that they were dropped by storks. But, up until 4th grade, who knows where we came from? Nobody knows. But then, one day, somebody came in and said, guys, I got it. And we're like, what? I know where babies come from. Shut the fuck up. No, for real. Listen up. So he's like, we're all gathered around. He's like, so when a dude puts his penis in a vagina and semen and babies, boom.
Semen and babies.
And we're like, what the fuck are you talking about? So I went home and I was like, Mom, where the fuck do babies come from? And she's like, you were dropped by a stork. I'm like, yeah, I know, but like, where do babies come from?
Before that, Mom.
Yeah, like like what happens? And she's like, okay, you've been lied to your whole life. It's time for me to fess up. And I'm like, what? And she's like, well, and she explains the whole thing, and I'm like, no, that did not happen. You're lying. That is disgusting. No.
So at that point, you knew like there was a difference between boys and girls, though. You knew like guys have the pointy thing and girls have. You're only child, right?
Yeah.
So it must have been harder for you. I grew up with like brothers and sisters.
Yeah. When did I figure out that dudes have penises?
Well, while you're figuring out when you figured out dudes have penises,
but that was a magical discovery too. Maybe not in 4th grade.
And like for the rest of her life, it's been magical ever since that discovery.
Well, not even like the whole like, oh, they have penises things. Like, oh, what can a penis do for you?
Oh yeah. Okay. I didn't even think about that. But the first time, no one ever explained it to me. I never remember anyone explaining it to me. I was always very confused. I just remember a time when I thought that like I knew that someone could get pregnant. So I knew that babies were inside of you. Like, but I didn't know how they got there. And I don't think anyone ever told me because I never asked, but I feel like I learned from movies. Like I just started watching TV and then TV explained it for me, which is probably the worst way to learn about sex. I don't know how old I would have been though. I feel like I was like, I started puberty early, which I was like 9.
Like 9?
Yeah. And I felt like I had to know about it before then. So I don't really remember. I just remember wishing someone would have told me about this stuff because even like going through puberty, it was like very weird because no one was explaining, this is what's happening. So it was just like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Like my vagina's bleeding. Like all these things are happening and I can't figure them out. So I always had to like learn for myself. And I think that's where people's like sexual urges come from. Like I was always like so fascinated by like what the TV was teaching me. Like I could learn from that. I don't know. And like even like to this day, like I don't know if you want to talk about like porn and stuff like that. I feel like that kind of is why I like it so much because I was so interested in it back then because it was like really a teacher for me that now I'm just, I don't know. I like porn. Do you like porn?
No.
I know you don't.
That explains a fuck ton, I'll tell you what.
I know you don't. I was, okay, if you heard Derek J's Flaming Freedom last night, pretty awesome show. There was a guy who called in who was a furry. Do you know what a furry is?
Okay, I have a pretty good idea. Like, I get the gist, but like, I don't. Like I've never been interested. Like no one's ever said like, do you know what a furry is? And I've been like, no. I've always just been like, yep, because I don't really.
Okay, so for everyone who doesn't know out there, because as Renee's vanilla, okay?
No. Shire dude's vanilla. I'm fucking non-fat frozen yogurt.
Yeah.
Nah, dude. Actually, I'm just milk.
Milk. That's it. Renee is milk. A furry is a person who likes to dress up as an animal character with their penis or vagina exposed and have sex with other animal characters dressed in fur. So, I mean, it's a pretty big community out there. But anyway, the reason I'm bringing... Yes, you didn't know that? Oh, my God. There's conventions for furries. There's furry conventions. There's porn. There's, like, furry porn sites where they do it like it's virtual. So everyone looks like animals, but it's like a fox, like a woman as a full fox, but she has, like, nipples and they're hard. And then her whole vagina's like out, and then and then the guy foxes just have like these long, hard human penises, but yet they're dressed as a fox.
Wait.
And then they're having sex.
Is that what the fucking fox said?
Is that what the fox said?
Dear God,
I'm afraid.
You just ruined that whole song for me. Aww. You just ruined it.
There are conventions. He said there's like thousands of people at these conventions. I think the furry conventions are bigger than the Porcupine Freedom Festival. So if you're not going to the Porcupine Freedom Festival, you should just go to the furry convention.
That's like the worst news I received all day.
Well, anyway, apparently it's this whole epic community, and it's kind of like our community, except people are dressed as animals, and they have like all these beefs and all these private chat rooms and stuff. And so he was like banned from the furry community and all this stuff because he wanted to make furry porn free.
Who?
And this guy who called into the show, who's apparently some famous furry, he's like famous in the furry community. It was a really weird show, let me just say the least.
Yeah, I'm fucking sure it was.
Yeah, but it was hilarious. So apparently, like, I asked him, I was like, have you always been attracted to, like, I didn't want to say animals, but I just said alternative sex. Have you always been attracted to alternative sex? And he said that it stemmed from puberty. When he was in apparently high school in a boarding school, him and his friends watched some kind of movie where there was a werewolf and the werewolf started fucking some girl and it was like a rape scene. Okay, well, when we come back, we'll talk about furry rape.
Who does that turn on? What?
Thousands of people.
This world is going to shit. Mr. Rogers, come back. We need you, man.
Hello, Shire Dude. Yeah.
Liberty activists around the country are starting to realize politics alone won't set us free.
I like it.
So what will? At
I
Liberty
think
on the
it's
Rocks, we
fine.
believe the answer starts with living your principles, spreading ideas, and connecting with those around you. By starting a Liberty on the Rocks network, you can make a
see the
difference by
mouth.
uniting libertarian thinkers. Find out how much fun it is to build your local network from the ground up. Visit libertyontherocks.org today to get started.
I should just dye my hair.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to
And then
ideas
just
of
roll it.
liberty every day. From wrestling
Maybe
superstars
like super
Glenn
light
Jacobs,
green, like the
You guys
Joker.
really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed
The
my
evolution
mind
of sex.
on some very
She said
important
something. She's
issues
like Janae's
years
vanilla.
ago.
I'm like, no,
to
Shire
random
needs
people
vanilla.
tuning in on the radio.
I
I'm
was
fucking
kind of
on
stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on doing the Free State Project and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because
Renee's not
I know
joking.
that if it wasn't for
She's just
you guys
like
being on
penis
the
and
Free State
vagina.
CPR, I never would have found the idea.
I'm
of
just
liberty.
good at
Your
what I
amp
do.
will directly change more
Like,
lives. by getting
You're
Free Talk
good.
Live
I'm
in front of people
amazing.
looking for
Well,
talk
no,
radio
you go to
online
Gloco,
and on
right?
the
You
air.
get the classic
You can help
Mexican.
by joining the AMP
That's damn
program
good.
for
It's the
just $5 a
Gloco.
month at
I thought it was called.
amp.freetalklive.com
The
and getting perks. That's
You might be the
amp.freetalklive.com.
The three most
Yeah,
important
he might
things
be
you
like
can
a
do
song.
for LRN.FM are
I'm like
one, let your
classic.
friends know you're listening to LRN.FM on your social networking
Oh yeah,
profile.
I guess.
Two,
Where
buy the
our
things you buy
sexual
online
burrito
through
flavors.
shop.lrn.fm.
What
Three,
is your
give
sexual
$5 a
burrito
month to the
flavor?
AMP program at
in chat.
amp.lrn.fm. It's my firm belief that the AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented groups.
Oh my God!
Support
Someone's
all your
posting
favorite
the picture of the
organizations,
furries.
but make sure you give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm.
Wait, I can't zoom. Furry porn.
New Hampshire is under quarantine as walking corpses
What
devour
the
the flesh
fuck
of the
is wrong
living.
with people,
Max is
man?
11
I
years
am
old and
tired of
surviving
living on
alone.
this planet.
Slow moving and non-thinking, the dead swarm
don't
his
wanna
home.
live
Now
on
he
this
must apply
planet
his
anymore.
Porcupine Freedom Scouts
Thanks,
training
furry
to
porn.
improvise his escape.
You've
Look for
destroyed my
Survivor
faith.
Max on Facebook. Read reviews on Amazon or read chapter
I'm
1
reading the
at
chat.
survivormax.com.
I see all your great comments
If
here.
you can't listen to the Liberty Radio Network's internet streams, free satellite channel, or radio affiliates, no worries. You can listen to LRN.FM from any
it
phone,
raining?
anywhere. Add this number to your phone. 213-493-0309. It's a long-distance call, so make sure you're familiar with your phone's calling plan. The Liberty Radio Network listen lines are locked into our stream 24 hours a day. Call 213-493-0309. That's 213-493-0309. Are you looking for an excuse to come check out New Hampshire this fall? You're
So what
invited
is
to Keenvention.
what is a furry?
Keenvention is your
furry?
chance
What
to
kind of
meet dozens
burrito?
of key Liberty activists
What
from
sexual
across the
burrito
Shire.
flavor is
You can
the
explore
furry?
the beautiful little city of
Probably a
Keene,
buffalo.
discuss
Too
various
spicy
forms
for
of
anyone to
activism
handle.
with seasoned
Celery sucks,
veterans,
blue
do
cheese
some Robin
sucks.
hooding, and learn about making the move. Keenvention received rave reviews last year. If you missed it, visit keenvention.info for full video coverage of every speaker and panel. This year's keynote speeches and panels will be announced via the Keenvention blog and Facebook, so stay tuned there for the latest. Join old and new friends and neighbors in Keene for Keenvention this October 30th through November 1st. Tickets are available now at a special early bird price of just $50 via credit card or Bitcoin. That $50 price only lasts through the end of June, so don't delay. Reserve your tickets now at keenvention.info. Visit keenvention.info for more and look for our page and event on Facebook. That's keenvention.info.
Listen to LRN.FM on any phone, anytime. 213-493-0309. That's 213-493-0309.
And welcome back to Seditious Sirens. We were kind of going into furry porn, but I think you guys have had enough of that. But if you want the Reddit, I'll probably post that in the chat a little later. A little special surprise for everyone. I know you guys are probably into the furry porn. I don't know how common it is. I mean, I feel like people should be able to express themselves in an open format without judgment. And I feel like that's the problem. That's why we can't evolve the way we'd like to, because people still judge other people. And people are judging mostly because, they don't really understand. So, I mean, especially when you're like kind of, I guess, Renee, and you thought storks delivered babies this whole time. And then you figure out you've been lied to your whole life. And, that's just not, that just does not make for good maturing. So I found this interesting article about a sex ed teacher who took her, I guess her students to an adult novelty store to teach them about sex ed. And it just kind of reminded me of high school. I mean, I don't know how many of you have ever seen Mean Girls, but that's like one of my favorite shows. And in that scene, there's a scene where they're in like gym class, because that's where everyone learns about sex ed, right? I don't know if that's just like a regional thing. You learned about sex ed in gym class?
No, I learned about sex ed in health class.
That wasn't gym? It wasn't like combined?
No.
Well, that's what happens when you go to public school in Georgia. So it was like always in gym class. And it was this guy who's like shaking a box of condoms. He's like, if you have sex, you'll get pregnant and you'll die. Everybody take a rubber. Like, what the fuck? And then it's like, oh, you'll get chlamydia and you'll die. So first of all, not only did no one ever explain, sex to me, or something I figured out on my own. By the time I was in high school, I had figured it out. And people were telling me, if you have sex, you're going to die. If you have sex, you're going to get pregnant. If you have sex, you're going to be ruined. You're just going to be this ruined woman forever. And everyone's like saying all these like things. Like, and this teacher, I don't remember. This happened, this article was written June 4th, so had happened pretty recently, but she's like under scrutiny for, she wanted to teach them, about sex in I guess an open environment. And people are like, well, they're 11 years old. They don't need to know. But I feel like they do, because people are maturing so fast. Like, look.
Well,
Look at us.
What the fuck are they gonna learn from a novelty store is my question. Like, oh, check out some dildos.
Mrs. Hedges stated that the trip was meant to educate the children as the products that they can use to practice safer sex. But one parent didn't see it that way. She has two children, 11 and 13, who attended the trip. She has since withdrawn her daughters from the school, citing a severe breach of trust. So
probably some psycho religious nut, but
probably
still.
The sexual education teacher said that she unfortunately didn't communicate well enough with the parents ahead of time about the trip. However, she also had to say, what I saw happening on our trip, I thought it was beautiful because kids could talk to these sex educators without shame or without any fear. And let's freeze, because I think that's important. I feel like when I was growing up, everyone was just telling me how wrong it was, how, you know, this is going to happen and this is going to happen. No one ever talked about the joys of sex and what, you know, sex can mean. It can be something that's fulfilling. Everyone was talking about it in such a negative light that I never really got to ask those kinds of questions that she's giving them the opportunity to ask. Not until I was in college. And guess what? I planned a sex toy party where I had one of these peoples of the shop. It was Good Vibrations. They came to the school and they gave us like free vibrators and everything. And you know, they said, hey, here, write it down, put the question in the box, ask whatever you want. And you'd be amazed how many people have never even got to ask this kind of questions. Like, what am I supposed to do when I give a blowjob? Like, how's my mouth supposed to be? Like, I never understood that. Some people don't know this stuff and they'll never know it. Look, they'll have to spend the rest of their life guessing because they don't have anyone to have like a safe outlet for these kinds of things.
I don't understand. Well, I guess I'm just naturally like talented. I mean, I've had some useful pointers given to me. But other than that, it's
you think you're talented. You can't be. Maybe you're decent.
Have you ever hold it?
I just can say, wait, you hold it, because I just can say, if you are wondering what can a sex store benefit, like you can't be that, you know, adventurous. Your vagina probably feels good. That's probably true. You're young, you're thin, you have a nice body. Yes, but sex is way more than just, you know, penis and vagina.
Yeah, I'm sure. But number one, you know some people that I've slept with. Have you ever heard any complaints? In fact, haven't you heard them praise me?
Who do I know that you've had sex with? Oh, yes, but he praised your endurance because you're young and you're ready to go.
Yeah, he also praised my ability.
Yeah, because you're young and you're ready to go.
Yeah, and I'm fucking talented.
You guys, oh
my god, you douchebag.
I feel like it's a lot more to sex than just sex, and I think that's what I wanted to talk about next. If I can look at my show notes, that people kind of sometimes confuse sex and, you know, what sex actually means, because when you've been taught that sex is like this thing, like the teacher at the store showing them vibrators and shit, when you've been taught that sex is like this act, you know, that you're supposed to keep hidden, that you're supposed to keep secret, like your mom's telling you a fucking stork's dropping off a baby, like she should have told you what it was anyway. Like, why lie to a child? Like, that kind of thing is like gonna be hindering in some kind of way anyway, because it's like fucking Santa Claus. Like, why are you telling lies to your children? I don't get these American traditions where you just sit and lie to your kids for years, and then they're like, okay, you've been fucking lying to me forever, like about the laws of physics. Like, I don't understand.
Dude, no, I looked stupid so many fucking times. Like, okay, so I didn't know that Santa Claus wasn't real until like fucking almost 6th grade, man. I was in 5th grade and we were reading some story about elves, and somebody said something about like, oh, Christmas elves. And then they were like, hi, Ash, the studio cat. But yeah, somebody said something about elves. And someone was like taking it very seriously, like almost to the point where they were like believing like that this could have happened. And my teacher,
was that you?
Just no, it wasn't me. But he was just like fucking reality check. He's like, all right, elves don't fucking exist, okay? Like the girl in this book who's talking about the elves is like mentally deranged, like, you know. And then he's like, all right, how many of you still believe in Santa Claus? And I excitedly raised my fucking hand, and everybody else is like sitting there like, oh my God, this bitch. And like, I'm the only one raising my hand. And he's like, really, Renee? You believe that a fat dude rides around in a sleigh
and
driven
slides
by reindeer
down a chimney?
Yeah, every single fucking house in the world, every Christmas, just on that one night. You really think that? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, well,
okay,
wrong.
We have to see when we come back. I think I covered that up pretty well.
Cato University is the Cato Institute's premier educational event of the year. It's being held this year from July the 26th to the 31st at the Cato Institute's state-of-the-art headquarters in Washington, D.C. This annual program brings together outstanding faculty and participants from across the country and often from around the globe, with everyone sharing a commitment to liberty and learning. Cato University is a genuine community, and you can freely share viewpoints, concerns, ideas, questions, and more in an atmosphere of friendship and personal respect. It's a one-of-a-kind program for people who don't stop thinking after they got out of school. It's for people who don't want politicians or bureaucrats or officials to do their thinking for them. It's for people who value liberty. You'll learn, you'll be inspired, you'll make new friends, you'll meet great people from around the world. All of the details are spelled out at the Cato website, cato.org, and they hope to see you there this summer, July the 26th through the 31st in Washington, D.C. Again, details are at cato.org.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin. mymagicmud.com.
The dangerous winter storm Rookie is expected to pummel the Midwest throughout the day, with meteorologists predicting the blizzard will hit Kevin Hodges of Joliet, Illinois, the hardest, given the way his year's been going.
Yeah, we're talking up on everything. I think school's going to be canceled. We're just
what?
We're not
My
Google
Chrome says my hangout
Hello,
will
Georgia. Just how
end.
crippling will the storm be for Kevin?
We've already seen a lot of damage. Motorists in Kansas trapped in their cars on the freeway. That's nothing compared to the emotional damage Hodges can expect. Having to deal with a sick cat, frustrating new hours at work, and a confusing breakup all in the past 6 months.
We can take reports that he recently loaned $600 to a friend who has no intention of paying him back and slammed his finger in a car door last month. Does the National Weather Service have any advice for Kevin today?
Not much you can do. This guy is really vulnerable right now. Authorities are recommending that he just stay indoors and think about his mistakes.
How long will it take
like
them
good
to stop
advice. No,
broadcasting?
he looks like a real sad piece of shit. Stay warm out there, Jordan.
This is the Onion News Network.
DVD, books, music, instruments, periodicals, computers, software, electronics, photo, cell What if the key to achieving liberty in your lifetime was to move together with others who think like you? Liberty activists are joining the Free State Project, which is over 70% of the way to its goal of 20,000 participants. And they're already making the move to New Hampshire. The successes
But like,
are
is it
piling
really
up
still
and
their
proving
video?
the Free
Is it on
State
a
Project
fucking
is a
green
real
screen?
movement and
Like,
no
we're
longer
in the
just a
video.
great idea.
Like-
When you're planning your move, consider Keene. Keene is famous for its civil disobedience and non-cooperation, and there's plenty of political opportunity as well. From demonstrations and vigils to outreach and volunteering, there's a lot going on in Keene. Keene is the liberty media capital of the world, with television, talk radio, and more, all originating here. Though it's more than just activism, with regular social events each week. See what's happening at freekeene.com and get connected with video, audio, free books, a forum, and activist tools you can download and use in your area at freekeene.com. That's freekeene.com.
You can interact with other LRN listeners on our message board at forum.lrn.fm. That's forum.lrn.fm.
Can I have a cigarette?
Yes, you can have a cigarette. Welcome back to the Seditious Sirens, where we're fucking chain smoking our asses off.
We haven't even started chain smoking.
That's true.
Please.
But now we are.
Now
so
we are.
Give us some credit.
Give us some credit while Renee gets the cigarettes. Another reason I want to have like a show like this is because I feel like people tend to forget that they're naturally sexual beings. Like, I feel like there's something everyone needs to remember, that, you know, you are you are a sex machine. If you have to tell yourself that to get into the mood with yourself. I mean, I always say you have to love yourself first, and I mean that literally. My first orgasm was watching Nip Tuck. I remember it very literally. I used to stay up late and sneak and watch this. Have you ever heard of Nip Tuck?
Heard of it, never watched it.
It was a show where they were having like sex on TV, basically. And anyway, I remember the scene and everything. I probably should have told this story on Flaming Freedom, but hey. So it was like late. It came on, and back then, it was like one of the only shows that they were really getting it on. Well, it was the only show I knew about, and it was like coming on like regular TV. You just had to stay up late enough to watch it on FX. And it was a scene where he was like having a threesome, but the other woman like was just watching. Like she was saying, pretend like she was sitting on top of the other woman while he was like having sex with the other woman under her, because he couldn't have sex with her for some reason. And to me, like even back then when I didn't even understand it, it was just the kinkiest thing ever. And orgasm. And now, I mean, I guess that explains a lot about me, actually. I seen that during puberty. At least I wasn't watching werewolf porn.
Okay,
I could be a furry right now.
None of that made any goddamn sense either. That didn't make any fucking sense.
There's two people having sex. Okay, and she's like, she bought the other woman because they couldn't have sex with each other because he couldn't use a condom, or he didn't like using condoms, but she didn't want to have sex with him. So she paid for him to have sex with this other woman, like on top of her. It was kind of weird, but kind of hot. It was confusing, but beautiful. And I liked it. And, you know, ever since then, I've had a thing for, you know, multiple sex partners or like kinky sex like that. And I think that was because that was literally my first orgasm. So, I mean, what's worse, threesome porn or werewolves?
You just orgasmed while watching TV?
Oh, no, I was definitely masturbating because they were having sex.
Okay, I don't get it.
Wait, so if you're watching us on YouTube, our video is copyrighted. And so it'll probably end our broadcast pretty soon.
YouTube's being a fucking dickbag tonight.
YouTube's being a statist. Like, we've been doing this for a while.